Hello and welcome to the Daily Royal. My name is Shelby and I have been a royal watcher for the past 10 years. In this podcast, I talk about the daily events of 7 of the European monarchies. So I talk about Belgium, the UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway, Spain, and Sweden. I upload Monday through Friday with occasional bonus episodes here and there. Today is Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. We are going to just jump right in today. It was a busier day, kind of what I've expected all week. So we are going to jump right in. Just a reminder, this week I am starting with all information related to Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. That goes at the beginning of each episode, and then we go into the daily events of each royal family, including if the British royal family has events that are not related to Prince Philip's death and subsequent funeral, then I talk about those in like a separate segment. So today, in what is perhaps the best coordinated social media from the British royal family ever, today the focus was on a couple of different things. The first was a focus on Philip's work with innovation, engineering, and design. He has been known to be a lover of science and engineering, as well as have an eye for design. So he has designed jewelry pieces for Queen Elizabeth. I think there's 3 that he has for sure designed. And potentially he was part of her engagement ring design, but that's not confirmed or anything like that. And design, he was, if you watch The Crown, he was in charge of the remodel for Clarence House when they first relocated to London. And then subsequently he was put in charge of the design of the Royal Britannia yacht, which is where the royal family spent a lot of time, and he was in charge of designing that. He also just had a huge eye for it. It was a really important thing for him, as well as science and engineering and innovation. So that was the first focus. However, it was quickly outshined, is that a word? It is today, by the sharing of a lot of never before seen photographs of Prince Philip that focused on his role as father, grandfather, and great-grandfather. This included several new photos, like I said, never before seen, some with Prince Philip and Charles on playing polo, Philip with some of his grandchildren, and then 2 new photos of him with some of his great-grandchildren. So there was a photo released of the Queen, Prince Philip, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, Prince George, and a very small Princess Charlotte. So she was born in May, and this was taken in summer. So she was between 3 to 4 months old, because it was taken in Balmoral, which is typically August. And it was adorable. And then there was also a photograph shared of the Queen and Prince Philip with 7 of their great-grandchildren. I believe they're up to 9 or 10 now. Maybe 10's on its way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 of the, they were the only 7 at the time. So Prince Louis is pretty small in this, 4 or 5 months old, again, taken in Balmoral, which is in Scotland, and is typically August holiday. So he would have been, again, around 4 months old, 5 months old. He was born in late April. And it's adorable. It is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I seriously just about, like, it was just, it was beautiful. And I really liked the moment when I first saw it. So that photo was released today as well. And then also today, kind of in this sharing of photos, Princess Eugenie shared her tribute to her grandfather via her personal Instagram account, but she shared 2 photos. One of her sister, Princess Beatrice, and Prince Philip at a derby race, which is a horse race, and another one on a Christmas service of when Eugenie was small, like between 7 and 10. I'm really bad at guessing ages. So, and then she wrote, of course, the caption, which read, "Dearest Grandpa, we all miss you. You would be so touched by all the tributes that have been shared with me the past few days. People remember sitting next to you at a dinner or shaking your hand once, who remember you saying hello in passing, or remember how much their Duke of Edinburgh award meant to them. I remember learning how to cook, how to paint, and what to read. I remember laughing at your jokes and asking about your spectacular life and service in the Navy. I remember incinerating the sausages and you swooping in to save the day. I remember your hands and your laugh and your favorite beer. I will remember you and your children, your grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Thank you for your dedication and love for us all, and especially Granny, who we will look after for you. With all my love, Eugenie." And it was just beautiful. Today has been full of really lovely moments. Remembering Prince Philip, like, lovely moments. And so that is what was going on today. I will say, kind of in this section, Princess Anne had her first in-person engagement today, which again was shocking, but like, of course. But she visited a yachting club on the Isle of Wight. And why I'm mentioning it is because she was taught how to sail by her father, and so according to the royal family social media account post on it, she shared some of those memories today, about how much that meant to both of them. And so let me see what I can find here. During the visit, Her Royal Highness spoke fondly of learning to sail with her father and later attending sailing events with him. So they tied it in to sharing about his life and his passions and all of those things. So it was really beautiful. And just my admiration for the ones that are going back to work, just in what is, of course, an expected time, but like full of grief nonetheless, is just, it's amazing. So that was what was going on there. I do think we have a couple of court circular entries. Let me confirm that though while we're checking. Yes, okay. Yeah, so we'll jump to the British royal family actually next. So that jump will basically look like me playing of the British national anthem and then going in to talk about the daily events. However, there haven't been any events in the day-to-day of the Belgian royal family this week. I did some research as to why. So Belgium is on Easter holiday, and they have an extended Easter holiday similar to the UK does. So they are returning either Monday the 19th or Tuesday the 20th to school. I can't remember which one it actually is, but they are returning this coming week. So I would assume that also means like the government is kind of in recess which is what we call it here in the States. I'm not sure what they call it in Belgium. And therefore, like, just everything's kind of shut down for the week. So I would assume that that means the royal family is as well. Queen Mathilde has an event now scheduled for April 20th, so they will pick up next week. However, there will be content from them for the next 2 days because we've got some birthdays coming up. So with that, we are going to jump now to the British royal family. Today, in terms of daily events for the British royal family, Queen Elizabeth, yet again, had an event today. So she met with the Lord Parker of Mindsmere, who has been appointed the new Lord Chamberlain, and today received the wand and insignia of the office and the badge of Chancellor of the Royal Victorian Order. So he is now the Lord Chamberlain, which is the highest member of the household staff. So I am genuinely not sure, like, why, other than it was probably scheduled to happen during this time, like these days. But it feels very strange, but also very get on with it, keep calm and carry on attitude that Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip had. It makes sense to me, but it is endlessly strange. Even though the royal family is in mourning and that will last for 2 weeks, this is important, as was the visit from Princess Anne today. Like, there is still room for the important events that can't be changed or anything like that. And they made sure to make that clear when announcing the mourning period. But just because of the pandemic, it was just kind of assumed that there wouldn't be too much of that. But with the Lord Chamberlain stepping down and a new one coming in, apparently that just wasn't a negotiable thing. And so that had to happen in the past couple of days. So I do kind of expect Queen Elizabeth's official schedule to stop now that these 2 things are done. It just seems like these were possibly unavoidable. But what do I know? I could be completely wrong. I don't have an in on any of these things, so it's just an assumption for now. So that is what was going on in the British royal family today, and now we are going to go ahead and move on to Denmark. There were 2 things that happened in Denmark today. Two whole things. This is incredible news. For those that have been following along this year, Denmark has been a slow country. There aren't a lot of events. I think the count for the first 2 months was like 8 in total, like 3 one month and 5 the next or something. It was not a lot. And March kind of picked up a little, but it was still like 1 here or there every couple of days, which it still is this month, don't get me wrong. But 2 things happened in one day. It's a big deal. So first, Queen Margrethe held a farewell audience for the ambassador to Denmark from Lithuania. This is something that I think happens in at least most of the royal households. I'm not sure it happens in all of them. I've never seen Philippe of Belgium or Felipe of Spain hold these farewell audiences, but every other royal house, I think, does. So basically, the ambassador will come to to present their credentials to the head of state, and then when it's their time to go, they will have a meeting with the head of state to thank them and just have one last conversation. So that happened today. And then also today, the next steps in Prince Christian's education have been announced. So let's start here. This could probably is probably the last education announcement. Well, no, it's not. Never mind. Forget that. There's a few more things coming down the road. So Christian is 15 going on 16. So he'll be 16 in October, and he is finishing up his 9th year in what is 9th and I think final year in Denmark's compulsory education. Maybe up to 10 is compulsory, but he's done 9 and is now going on to finish another, I think this means that he'll be doing this for 3 years, but I'm not entirely sure of that. My understanding of the Danish education system before trying to research it was about 1%. And after researching it, I still don't have a clear picture. And so it's now probably only at like 3 to 5%, because it was very confusing to me. I don't know why. It just doesn't follow a structure that I can keep tabs on. Like I can't figure out the structure enough to compare it to things, and I need that like small frame of reference. But I think as long as he's going for the 3 years, I kind of understand what's happening. Kind of. So he will be going to the Hirschholm Gymnasium in Neuvsted, which is 80 kilometers south of Copenhagen. So he will still be in Denmark. However, he will board at the school and spend the majority of his time there. So this school is a pretty prestigious school in Denmark. It was created to educate nobles in the country and their children, and is now a co-ed education, or their sons actually, and is now co-ed, and focused still on top education. So it is the only school, this was a little fun fact, it is the only school in Denmark that requires compulsory uniforms. So that was a little fun fact. That's all I got. Like I said, I struggled really hard to figure out this. He's not going for the International Baccalaureate. So he doesn't have it's not the same program, although this school does offer an International Baccalaureate. I don't think that's what he's going for. I'm very confused. Maybe they'll make an announcement after he finishes the 10th year, which I do think is compulsory now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more. And then they'll announce what the next 2 years look like, whether that be International Baccalaureate or some other higher education preparatory education. I don't know. So also along with the announcement came a new picture of Prince Christian that was probably taken with his 15th birthday photos, and I think I might have this picture in black and white, but it was more zoomed in with what they released for his 15th birthday. But it's a new picture. It will be up on the website and Instagram account later this evening. Well, for you, it's already there. For me, it's not up yet. So that is what was going on in Denmark today. I wish I understood the education thing more. I know I talked a lot about Leonor's education, and it's because it made sense to me. And also, then when I went on to talk about Princess Alexia of the Netherlands, they're going to the same school. So it was very easy because I'd already done the research on the school. Whereas this school it confused me. So anyway, that's what was going on in Denmark. So now we are going to make a hop, skip, and a jump to the Dutch royal family. In the Netherlands today, King Willem-Alexander had another unscheduled event. There are 2 events already scheduled for tomorrow, so that's very exciting. But today, Willem-Alexander held a video conversation with the governor of Curaçao, which is a part of the Caribbean Netherlands, as well as various public health officials on the island to discuss the increase of COVID cases that Curaçao and really all of the Caribbean is experiencing. So they made mention of that the other 2 Caribbean Netherlands countries, I don't quite know, were experiencing similar spikes. And I think really kind of the whole of the Caribbean is. I'm not sure what's going on there. And then they also discussed the vaccination program on the island and how that is going. Of course, island populations are much smaller, so I think they had a vaccination goal of like 85% vaccinated in like 2 weeks or something. That seems really unattainable even for the most efficient vaccination programs. I've noticed like here in the States, we are now kind of only going up in vaccination by like a couple 100,000 a week, whereas before we were going up by like over 600,000 up to 1 million per week. And now it's kind of very steadily, like it's still increasing, but arguably the states have one of the most efficient vaccination programs. I have no idea how, because we started off so terribly, but we do now, I guess. And so I don't know how that works on an island that's also experiencing COVID spikes, because you can't get vaccinated if you are currently sick with COVID, have been exposed to COVID, like have any COVID symptoms. At least that's my assumption from the questioning I received. So I'm not sure, but I want to take a minute, because we have time here, to talk a little bit about COVID vaccinations. So I know I shared my experience on my first one, and I will do so with my second one. I haven't received it yet. So I am 2.5 weeks post first vaccination. And I go back on Monday and get my second. So I will continue to be pretty honest about my experience. I know I talked a lot about like I was really nauseous for the first day after my vaccination, but it went away pretty quickly. And so I definitely want to continue to share my experience with the second one, in case any of you like haven't gotten vaccinated or are worried about it or experiencing like some anxiety about not knowing what to expect. My experience is not universal, but I'm a voice out there, and I definitely don't mind sharing. So on Monday, I will talk, or you'll hear it on Tuesday. I will hopefully be able to record and talk about that. I'm a little nervous, I'm not going to lie about the second one, but of course I will go get it, and I hopefully will be able to record an episode that night and share what I'm experiencing and then kind of talk through it through the rest of it. But I just wanted to, since we were on the topic of vaccination, say yes, that's coming. I just haven't received that second vaccination. You're supposed to get it 3 weeks later, between 3 and 4 weeks, and I'm getting it at like 3 weeks. I got mine on a Friday, and I'm getting my second one on a Monday, so 3 weeks in a weekend. So that is what was going on in the Netherlands today, was a talk about vaccination and COVID in Curaçao. And now we are skipping Norway. There was nothing on the calendar today. And now we are going to go ahead and move on to Spain. My dog decided to say hello. Sorry about that. But let's go on to Spain. It was audience day for King Felipe in Spain. So today he held 3 different audiences at Zarzuela, which is his primary office palace, and also the grounds on which he lives. So he first met with the Permanent Commission of the Third Sector platform. I did not research this one, so I have no idea what the organization is. So that was first, and then he met with the board of directors for Bolsas y Mercados Españoles, which literally translates to purses and markets. To Spanish purses and markets is what it literally translates to. But BME, or Bolsas Mercados Españoles, is basically the Spanish stock exchange. It's that's what it is. And it was so funny when I was trying to figure out what the organization was, because the Spanish Royal Household's website wasn't doing the translation for the company name, because they don't do that because it's a company name. So it was just, this is the translation because it's a company. So I Googled it, and then it came across as BME, which is the acronym. And as soon as it said BME, I knew exactly what it was. Not that I am clueless when it comes to stock markets and stock exchanges. I'm clueless. But in some of my research about potentially going and moving to Spain, that is something I'm not ready to really talk about yet. That has come up a couple of times just in the various research I've done, is the BME, which is the stock exchange. So that is what that was. And then finally, King Felipe met with representatives of the Spanish Business Council for Sustainable Development, which is, of course, focused on environmentally friendly developmental goals, but also still growing businesses, but doing it in a more earth responsible way. So that was the day in Spain. Like I said, I didn't do a ton of research on the Spanish events because there was a lot of other research things I needed to do today. And I find audiences, sometimes they're lovely and wonderful and really important, but Spain has so many events this week that this is kind of the slow day. So I'm taking the slow day, especially like tomorrow is going to be a huge day. So just taking the slow day for Spain. And then now we are going to go ahead and move on to the Swedish royal family. Finally, we have made it to the Swedish royal family. Today, again, another country with a quote-unquote slow day. Their slow day is 2 events because they are just jam-packed this week until Friday. But so today, King Carl Gustaf participated in a digital board meeting with the Young Leadership Foundation. So yesterday he met with the operations director, and then today he took part in that digital board meeting. They didn't do a write-up on the event, so I'm expecting that to come either tomorrow or on Friday, when they have no events scheduled. And then also today, Queen Sylvia took part in a digital meeting with an organization called Mentor, which seems super self-explanatory, except it definitely isn't. I mean, it is, but like, it was very confusing. Just, that's what they put. Queen Sylvia took part in a digital meeting with Mentor. They didn't explain what Mentor was, nothing. But it is an organization that provides high school students with a mentor in the field that they are hoping to get into so that the students can learn more about the job they are aspiring to. So again, no write-up that I have seen on this. It's almost 8 p.m. where I live, so I don't know if there will be a release on that later. I expect probably, unless there were no photos taken, and then it's just gonna stay that way. Not that the photos coming out from the Swedish royal family are high quality. They're typically screenshots, but we'll give them a pass. It's fine enough, I guess. Not everyone can have in-staff photography, I guess. I don't know. It's super obnoxious. But that is what was going on in Sweden today. I will be recording a podcast on Thursday. I'll probably record one on Friday, just because that'll be the day before the funeral. It will probably be short, but I will still cover any events that do happen on Friday. I still have not made my mind up about an episode focused on the funeral. I'm weighing a couple of different things at the moment, and I'm not sure yet, so we'll see what I do there. If you guys have an opinion, feel free to message me on the website, send me a message on Instagram, and let me know what you think. I'm struggling with that choice, whether it feels invasive or necessary. It's just kind of, I don't know yet. So we'll see, but I will hopefully have my mind made up and I will let you know on Friday. But if not, it'll be a surprise. So with that, we are going to end today's episode. Check out all the places, thedailyroyal.com, The Daily Royal on Instagram. Rate and review the podcast wherever you're listening, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great Thursday. Bye.